going to do a quick shout out for them. So God bless you. Jesus is the door, and God bless anyone else that may be hearing us. Earlier, Brother Jose Magaña had also tuned in into this real quick invitation I had done, to join us, to hear the word. And anyone else that may be able to hear, that may receive this word, I pray this morning that the word goes out but does not come back void. Amen? Today's message is looking for a church to call your home. I remember when Jacqueline and I, we were looking to buy a house. We're looking to buy a house. And let me tell you something. Buying a house is one of the biggest decisions that you will ever do while you're alive. Here, in the land of the living. First off, not everyone, especially in this economy, can afford a house. So when you're getting ready to buy a house, there goes a lot of preparation takes place. A lot of preparation happens just to make the decision to buy a house. You're looking at things like financially, you're looking at things, can I really do this? Should I really do this? So it's not only a big decision, but it's also something that it takes a lot of sacrifice. So the question is, you better want it bad enough, Second of all, it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. This means it takes a lot of planning. Why? Because things like, if I buy a house here, where will my children go to school? How is the neighborhood around here? I remember that while we were looking for a house, we had placed bids in different homes, and I had personally driven through some of those neighborhoods where the houses were. And let me tell you something. You may love a house, but you might hate the neighborhood. I don't know if anybody here understands what I'm saying. And it's just like, it's really important for you to like your neighborhood. It's almost like someone that is in love with someone, but they don't like his family. It's the same exact thing. You can fall in love with a house, but if you don't like the neighborhood, it's going to be a constant struggle and a constant battle to deal with day in and day out. Other things that you got to take into consideration is, how is the traffic around here? How is the traffic? Every time I'm going to leave the house, let me tell you something. We have a high school next to us. We have a middle school and elementary schools, okay? And on top of that, right now there's construction going on, but that had nothing to do with it when we were looking for houses. But you have to pay attention at the traffic, because guess what? The flow of things can really do a number on you. It can really test your patience. So it'd be really good before you invest, before you make one of those long-term decisions, for you to be very aware of not only the history of the house, not only the history of your neighbors, but also the flow of traffic in your neighborhood. Is anybody here this morning? Amen. The other thing you're looking at, that when you're buying a house, for example, some people, they say, we don't want to live in San Diego, we're going to go live in Temecula. But now you're dealing with travel time. So there's a lot of things that come into place when you're making big decisions. Go ahead and tell the person next to you, big decisions. When you're getting ready to buy a house, it's a big decision, and it's a long-term decision. And all of this takes a lot of planning. And eventually, if you don't plan right, it's going to drain your energy. It's going to test your patience. It could drive you nuts. It could drive you crazy if you don't do your homework first, if you don't discipline yourself. I remember one of the biggest things for Jacqueline, I'm sorry, not for Jacqueline, but for myself, was how close is the mall? Anybody here says, I want to know where the mall is. I need to know how much time it's going to take me to go to the mall. Well, it was big for me because, first of all, I don't like to go at the mall. I'm at the malls every single week. And to go on my day off, it better be an in-and-out type of thing. But that, to some people, you know, they like to know where they can get their nails done and all of that stuff. So everything comes into play. Why is this important, you may ask? Because this home you're buying is the place where you are going to be living and where you're going to be creating memories. Go ahead and tell the person next to you, memories. Isn't that funny? I remember just yesterday, I was just a young man. But it's interesting how some decisions are so big and they're going to affect the rest of your life that it only takes 1, 2, and sometimes 3 bad, big decisions for your life to go off course. What type of memories will you be creating in this new home? Well, some families, that's where their children are born and raised. That's where birthdays happen. That's where the children take their first steps, their first words. Mama, Papa. In these homes where you made a big decision on to buy that home, this is where their children will buy their first car. Well, where they'll bring their first date. Where they'll lose their first tooth. Where they broke their leg the first time, or their elbow, or whatever, whatnot. It's a place that creates memories. It's a place, a home is a place where you learn about love and family values. Discipline, and I know this is a big word for some of the young kids here, and chores. And the list goes on and on. One decision. One. I'm going to come over here because you guys are really awake. One decision affects all of that. Just one decision. Now, I want to read to you guys, I want you guys to go to Matthew chapter 7. We're going to read verses 24 through 27. Matthew 7. We're going to read